Thank you. Welcome, everyone. This is our second week hanging out with horses. And if you weren't here last week, no worries. You are welcome to visit the presentation. And if you don't, horses are wonderful, no matter if you see the presentation or not. So tonight, what we're going to start with are just a few slides to help us deepen and connect with our topic. So I will share my screen.
Is it recording? Oh, it is.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's recording. Okay. There we go. So we'll start with Teacher Wei's fire horse image and Dr. Pong's 8 verses to help bring us deeper into the field and deeper into our sharing about horses. So find your comfortable posture. Take a few deep breaths. Maybe just roll the shoulders and really allow yourself to land here in this space together. And you can invite the eyes to soften and gaze at the screen or at some point in front of you, or just gently close. Head touches sky. Feet stand on earth. Body relaxes and the mind expands. Be respectful and quiet. Mind is clear and appearance is humble. No distracting thoughts. Mind expands into infinite space. Feel the mind shining into the body deeply and inwardly. Entire body is harmonized with qi. Harmonized with qi. I wanted to reconnect us with the horse's slow blink and the horse's gaze. We spent quite a bit of time working with those last week, especially this field of relaxation that the slow blink communicates and the love of the horse's gaze. And we shared about the healing that happens just being in the horse's vast heart field and being truly seen by the horse as we are and held with our heart in whatever condition we bring. Was very powerful. So we'll just connect with these horses' gazes for a moment. And we can invite this sense of relaxation and love to rest with us as we spend this time together. I wanted to share this image. I'd actually encountered it about a month ago. My mom made a baby blanket for a baby that's due in June, and it had this very image printed on fabric, and she made it into a little blanket. And the little baby, of course, will be a fire horse baby. And I thought, oh, it's so interesting. She's giving this tiny baby a water horse image. And it felt like, I don't know, this perfect balance with that heat of the fire horse. And it's also the week of the spring equinox. And that's that time of balance and equanimity. So this image just really captures that for me with the power and the potential kind of frenetic boldness of the fire horse energy. And then here, perfectly captured is spring and water. So we can hold both of those and invite whatever balance we may need in our lives right now. This is Karen's beautiful horse painting that she graciously shared with us last week. And she and Gary are not here right now. And we know that Karen had surgery today. So we're holding her, of course, as we always do, but even extra right now in the field. And I wanted to share this beautiful image again. I feel like it captures that movement, even though it's in the stillness, it's that movement in the stillness and the grace and the wisdom that horses bring us. Just receive this gift. Yeah. And now I'm gonna pass the slideshow over to Alex. He wanted to share a few slides related to horses.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, this is actually me on this horse, and this is what's weird about this. So I started out this week like going through these old photos that I have, and I was looking for photos of me with a toy horse that I can remember having that I could actually ride on. It was like a little like suspended on springs and stuff, and I could not find this picture anywhere. But for some reason, I came across these, and I don't. To be fair, I have no memory of this. I don't even know why. Um, this is my aunt Jean and her husband Calvin, and we're on their farm in North Dakota, and they've since moved to South Dakota, and I have never even seen their South Dakota property, to be honest. But anyways, I was born in North Dakota. I lived there when I was a child, so we just probably went over to their place, and they propped me up on this horse, and I was probably, I don't know, like 4 years old or something. I don't know, five maybe. I don't know, very small. And I wish I could remember this. I really do. It is really fun to come across these photos. Um, I remember I can remember that jacket. I love that jacket, but I can't remember the horse. So, anyways, anyway, that's me. And we had that a lot of people last time shared many stories from their childhood and childhood experiences that they had with horses. And I just thought that that energy was so, when everyone shared the stories that they had of their childhood memories of horses, it was just so like full of joy. And you can kind of see that here. Like I'm totally loving this. Like obviously but yeah, I guess either too small to remember it or I'm not sure what. Anyway.
I know that horse.
Oh yeah, I love this horse giving us he's like trying to hog the camera, I think here. He's getting into the shot. That's pretty
It
fun.
gives us that horse's gaze.
Yeah, it sure does. Yeah, nice.
And these are real physical pictures
Yeah, yeah,
that
like
you
I
put
literally have
together.
photos that
Yeah,
I
they're
set down
real.
on a
Yeah.
tabletop and took a picture of these. Anyway, yeah. Okay, well, next
Ready?
slide. Yeah, sure. And then the other thing that I was going to share, so I recently shared a passage from The Alchemist in one of our other get-togethers, and another scene from The Alchemist kind of came to mind for me when um, when we were deciding to do Fire Horse. So I thought I would read again from The Alchemist, and for those of you who aren't may or may not be familiar, it's a really, really, really popular book, so most people probably know this story, but if you don't, uh, the book is named for this character, the alchemist, but it's actually not the main character. He's essentially a sage or a guide, a helper along this boy's journey, the protagonist of the story. And when they meet, this is their first meeting that I'll read, and it leads to this horse ride across the desert because they're looking for an omen so that the alchemist can know whether he is supposed to indeed guide this boy or help this boy with his quest. So I will begin the reading. It starts as follows. The alchemist was a bit daunting, but as the boy drank wine, he relaxed. After they finished eating, they sat outside his tent, under a moon so brilliant that it made the stars pale. Drink and enjoy yourself, said the alchemist, noticing that the boy was feeling happier. Rest well tonight, as if you were a warrior preparing for combat. Remember that wherever your heart is, there you will find your treasure. You've got to find the treasure so that everything you have learned along the way can make sense. Tomorrow, I want you to sell your camel and buy a horse. Camels are traitorous. They walk thousands of paces and never seem to tire. Then suddenly, they kneel and die. But horses tire bit by bit. You always know how much you can ask of them and when it is that they are about to die. The following night, the boy appeared at the alchemist's tent with a horse. The alchemist was ready, and he mounted his own steed and placed the falcon on his left shoulder. He said to the boy, "Show me where there is life out in the desert. Only those who can see such signs of life are able to find treasure." They began to ride out over the sands, with the moon lighting their way. I don't know if I'll be able to find life in the desert, the boy thought. I don't know the desert that well yet. He wanted to say so to the alchemist, but he was afraid of the man. They reached the rocky place where the boy had seen the hawks in the sky, but now there was only silence and the wind. I don't know how to find life in the desert, the boy said. I know that there is life here, but I don't know where to look. Life attracts life, the alchemist answered. And then the boy understood. He loosened the reins on his horse, who galloped forward over the rocks and sand. The alchemist followed as the boy's horse ran for almost half an hour. They could no longer see the palms of the oasis, only the gigantic moon above them, and its silver reflections from the stones of the desert. Suddenly, for no apparent reason, the boy's horse began to slow. There's life here, the boy said to the alchemist. I don't know the language of the desert, but my horse knows the language of life. They dismounted, and the alchemist said nothing. Advancing slowly, they searched among the stones. The alchemist stopped abruptly, bent to the ground. There was a hole there among the stones. The alchemist put his hand into the hole, then his entire arm up to his shoulder. Something was moving there, and the alchemist's eyes, the boy could only see his eyes, squinted with effort. His arms seemed to be battling with whatever was in the hole. Then, with a motion that startled the boy, he withdrew his arm and leaped to his feet. In his hand, he grasped a snake by the tail. And that was the scene that kind of came to mind, I guess, when we brought this horse thing up, and it was that connection of us and the horse. We had this, and I think we used to have it even more, like when we were more dependent on horses. Now we have like, more the motor car basically has replaced horses for the most part. But that connection that the boy had with his horse, he was able to lean on the horse's knowledge and to be able to complete this quest that the alchemist had put him on. And I thought that was extremely interesting. That sort of melding of our consciousness or our intention. And I thought it was just a really beautiful example of that. And so I think I just wanted to share this story. It was also kind of cool because we're just leaving a year of the snake, and now we're heading into this year of the horse, and so it kind of brought both of those together as well. So yeah, okay, that's all I had to share, and that's our presentation for the night. And we can probably just
Yep.
open up the floor, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll stop share. That was our last slide. So yeah, thank you.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you for story time, Alex. I love it when you read. And wow, so it really, really feels like the horse's connection to our life force is coming through. And I never made the connection, but of course, snake year comes first, and then the horse. You're right, the snake is like it's like our energy rising up through our energy centers, right? I mean, it's that free flow of energy through our bodies, right? They call it Kundalini rising or Shakti or whatever in all the different traditions. Jing energy rising, right? That's what the snake represents, right? Adam and Eve was all about like, the life force, the vitality rising, and horses. I also know independently are very tied to at least the concept of our life force and our health and the health of your horse in a dream is like it's a common sort of connection is if your horse in your dream is healthy, then that like bodes well for your own life force, right? And I loved how we got to look at Karen's horse while she's having her surgery because it's like so easy to send her good information and feel her strong life force in that painting she drew, which no coincidence, right? Like, why did she draw? That's anyway, my mind is exploding right now. Um, but yeah, and of course, like, our horses, gosh, I mean, when we did rely more on horses, they were so much more of an extension of our consciousness and then of our bodies. And of course, they would come to represent our wild nature, our vitality, um, our health, right? How like vigorous our systems were. And yeah, I love that. I love that passage from The Alchemist also. So of course they found a snake. Anyway.
Mhm.
Allah, thank you.
Um,
Thanks, guys. Yeah.
And there's that like shedding of the snake's skin too, is like, and the fire horse coming after that, it's kind of like, all right, now that we've kind of let go of some of the past where it's like off to the races, like it's time to go.
Absolutely, right. I mean, if we didn't have a clear channel for all this energy to flow through, it would destroy us, right? Like I mean, so of course we had to go through the shedding and the clearing out last year and of our main central energy channel. And now, I mean, we all feel it. The energy is pretty exciting, but we're ready for it. Yeah. Thank
Mhm,
you.
mhm.
I never, I always liked horses as a kid. I never had a horse or really rode horses, but probably the first dream that I remember still having as a kid was I dreamt that my parents bought me a horse and put it in my backyard. And I woke up and thought it was real. And so I ran outside to look for my horse. And of course, there was no horse out there. Um, but that dream is still so visceral for me. I wonder, anyway, I should work with it. What could it have meant? But probably just a deep yearning and just wanting it to be true, I guess, that I have a pet horse. I don't know. Anyway, thank you. Hello.
Wow.
If anyone wants to share, please feel free. Yeah,
Anything about horses, even if it's not related to
yeah,
anything else that's been shared today. Yeah.
definitely.
Mhm.
I can share something about not real horses. When I was little, I also loved horses, and I was reminded after last week's sharing from Alex about his like boingy horse. We used to, I don't even remember what these are called, but you guys probably know what I'm talking about. They're sticks and they have horse heads on them. And you
Yes.
hold them and you put the stick kind of between your legs and you gallop around. I don't know if you guys had those toys, but we did in my household. We had more than just enough for the children that lived in my house. We had them for visiting children. So we would all hold our little horse sticks with our horse heads. My favorite was a pink head with very colorful rainbow hair. That was my favorite. So I would get my pink horse and just race around the house with my friends in tow. And we were wild and just, we had that free, youthful horse energy with these horse sticks. And it really strikes me what Alex shared about kissing his plastic horse and rubbing its nose and the joy that we had from the movement of our horse heads on sticks. Like even horses in facsimile and representation bring this energy, especially for children. And it goes to that heart yearning that Megan just mentioned with the dream. There's something so powerful about our horse connection, even in our toys.
Even pretend, yeah.
Even in our pretend world, in our imagination. Because horses were very significant for me in my imagination, but I didn't have one, in the town where I lived, but they were a huge part of my play, and my connection to the invisible realm of childhood. So I was reminded of that from last week. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah, we just use brooms, but yeah, same thing. I mean, it's kind of like I guess you could be riding a horse or a witch, but yeah,
Yes.
multi-purpose. Yeah. Lillian, did you want to share?
Those adorable horses on a stick were called hobby horses.
Hobby
So
horses.
fun.
I think most of us grew up with the love of them or the yearning for one. We may not have had one, but I do recall the plastic horse on the springs. Uh,
Yes.
I knew some kids who had them and I thought they were so rich. I didn't have one of those, but uh, when I was a little bit older, when we'd go shopping, they had these horses. You put money in, and it was like the Lone Ranger type horse, and you could sit on it, and it would jiggle.
Yes.
And I thought that was neat. And then as I got older, there was a place where they did riding, maybe about 3 or 4 miles from me, our place, and I was fairly young. Whenever I get some money and ride my bike down this long, long path, and I go and hang out at the barn, and you could go, on a trail ride for like I don't know, 15 cents or 25 cents, something like that, eh? And it was just like that's what I want to do with my money. It was the greatest. I just love being there with the horses, and it's you, you always remember the breath of the horse on your hands, the warmth, and the soft noses, you know, and you instantly loved the animals, the horses, and they responded to you. They're such intelligent beings. Just a nice memory brought back. Thank you.
Thank you, Lillian. Hello.
Hello.
And the smells too, right? Like the smells associated with the horse. There's something really timeless.
Very earthy.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to say it, call it ancestral memory or past life memory or parallel life memory, like there's so much connection there between humans and horses. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, we can't help it.
I know when we were in the UK, 2005, we went to some areas through the National Trust net, and they had showed the house where part was barn, and part was the house. How people lived when they first settled, right directly with the animals. The animals, the dung was used to put on the floor, and it made a hard floor, and the warmth from the animals kept the people warm. And it was really a unique experience. And that love that's passed through the generations with the animals and people and the bond.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello. Hello. Thank you.
I'm just going to share, that my memories of horses has to do with reading every horse story. The Black Stallion, and all. I mean, I'm older than any of you, so probably the horse stories then were different. But but my what I'm reflecting on is it had to do with and often in those stories at that time the protagonist was a young boy, a young man, and the horse was usually a male horse. And so there's something about the gender thing here that the horses represent a kind of male power that's I'm just thinking about that now. But and there was something else about horses. Um, yeah, so taming, something about in those stories, being able to tame the wildness, the fire, and and how the taming often had to do with that young man loving the creature and the love getting kind of becoming the bond. So yeah, that's just um, that's coming to mind about childhood and horses. I I don't think I don't think I even. I mean, I grew up on a farm in southern New Jersey, a chicken farm, and but horses weren't a thing there. I mean, in southern New Jersey, and yeah. Anyway, thank you. Um, I also want to say that I'm connecting a lot to Karen and just wanting to really um, bring her, as you did, into the field.
Thank you, Shayna. Yeah, thank you for describing the transformation that happens through connection and love.
Mhm.
Yeah, between the protagonist and the wild
Mhm.
horse. It's sort of like in our practice, how rather than trying to throw out the aspects of us that might not be proper, how we accept them and appreciate them and work with them and how lot of them and how they become integrated with us and become part of our greater medicine and energy rather than a detriment. Yeah. And yes, more love to Karen. Yeah. Is there anybody else that we'd like to bring into this
Mhm.
healing field of, vitality and health and robustness?
I don't have another person to add yet, but I was gonna
Oh,
just
yeah.
mention when Sheena brought up the stories, like Black Stallion, there was actually I remember when I was a kid, I really, really liked the book Black Beauty, which is actually, I believe, a female author who wrote about a horse. It was actually from the horse's perspective. Like it's a story of the whole horse's life, basically. Um, that was such a good book. Man, my mom used to read that to me. So I had forgotten all about that. And so when she shared that, it just brought it up into my mind. But that I think that was written like long time ago, like maybe even before the 20th century or something. So it's a while, it's a ways back. I look it up, but yeah,
Mhm.
good book. I'm sure you guys might be familiar with Black Beauty. Anyone else? Is that a anyone else read that? Anyway, it's a majorly popular book, so I just want
I remember it, Alex. Yeah.
yeah, good book.
I remember it. I always avoided animal books because I didn't know if the animal was going to get hurt. And it's a weird thing that, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, this is actually, I think it's famous for like promoting better treatment of horses and animals in general too, actually, because of its being told from that kind of first person's perspective or whatever of the horse's perspective. So it's like known for that too. It's a really good book. But yeah, totally. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that. Go on to the
yeah,
people.
thank you.
I'm sure there are many. My aunt is still recovering from her injury, and so we'll add her, my aunt Jan.
Is she out of the hospital now or still, or
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
okay,
she's
good.
pretty getting some feeling back in her legs and stuff and is able to start moving her feet again a little bit and stuff. It's still not 100%, but it doesn't look like it'll be permanent permanent loss of function. It looked like it was a just temporary injury, which is good.
Mhm. Wow.
Mhm.
I'd like to add my friend Cynthia Davis. She fell about a week ago and broke her hip and had a hip replacement, and she's 80 and she's in a physical therapy rehab, and just want to send her a lot of good energy.
Mhm.
Hello. Thank you, Shana.
Mhm.
Hi, Swan.
Bringing people into the field.
Or pets.
Pets, yeah, pets, Bodhi, pets, yes. Maggie, Steph's
Yeah,
Maggie.
Bodhi and Maggie.
Maggie and Bodhi, and I talked to Steph, and maybe you already know Maggie's home and she's okay, but they are waiting for some tests to come back. They didn't find anything today that should be causing whatever is going on with her. And I want to bring my good friend Mike into the field. He's going for an MRI tomorrow to assess his rotator cuff, and he's a stonemason, so his shoulders are really important to him. So he came for 2 days to do some work with me with his partner, and so he appreciates what we do here, and so he'll feel this. So thank you.
Hello.
I'm going to bring all of our child selves into the field. It's been really powerful to witness the presence of our relationship to that youthfulness, that child aspect that horses are inviting us to explore. So all of our little child selves and our child hearts.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Hello.
I'd like to bring our grandson Alexander in. He's suffers from anxiety a lot, and it's very difficult for him. I tried to help him a little bit along the way, but I just pray for receptivity from him, and just for him to see an alternate way of approaching things. There is this way and then other ways. And for my daughter, for her rotator cuff as well. She's having trouble with that. And of course, our daughter-in-law, Sophie, who's has severe epilepsy and is navigating a life-changing journey over the years. And our son, who is the primary caregiver, and his anxiety is very hypervigilant. So they're the loves of my life, and my husband, for all of them. Thank you.
Thank you, Lillian. Holding them all in the field, all of your family. I'll put my friend's mom, Marilyn, in the field. She's going through a health challenge. And a friend and colleague, Ben, not this Ben, put him in the field. I'll put this Ben in the field too. You can see him. Oh, no, actually, you can't see him. He's back there. There he is. Both Bens in the field. Yeah. And of course, Karen and Gary, as they traverse the surgery today and recovery.
And chi purifications.
And chi purifications, yeah.
Over there showing up.
Yeah, the horse energy has created a lot of endings and new beginnings. So just may we all have the boldness of the horse by our side, right? That friend and companion and that support that we can lean on or literally like allow to carry us a few steps along the way when we need that this year. I'll just invite you all to imagine that there's a horse sort of gently nuzzling your shoulder next to you right now, and remember that horse can always be there, especially this year. And that horse is an extension of each of us and represents this vast possibility that we sometimes forget that we have. So I'll invite you all to get even more comfortable than you already are. Maybe moving slightly, adjusting your posture, or maybe even lying down. And again, allowing that support of the horse to really be felt in your heart space. Really allow your heart, your baby heart, to connect in with that horse by your side, that constant companion. You might breathe in and kind of, I don't know what that's called, but horses do that a lot. And just allow that to settle your nervous system. Allow your nervous systems to settle, to settle. Allow yourself to feel held. Horses are prey animals, so they are masters at letting things go, releasing tension, releasing anxiety, finding that place of balance and equanimity. So just allow yourself to lean into that potential. To allow that sensation of your baby heart, that deep heart connection that you have with all of existence, allow that to begin to spread. Allow your Mingjue baby heart to open and spread, spreading throughout your body, spreading up through your neck and head and face, and spreading down your back, through the pelvis, through all the organ systems, down your legs, down through the feet into the earth. And as we expand out and out, consciously connecting in with this healing circle, expanding out, consciously connecting in deeply with the spirit of the horse, consciously connecting in with the wisdom of the horse. And allowing yourself to expand out further and further, expanding out through space and time, connecting in with the wisdom and the teachings and the teachers, all of the sages, all of the practitioners of wisdom traditions throughout the world, connecting in with that vast field of love and peace and happiness and deep gratitude. Allowing our consciousness to expand out even further, expanding out, encompassing the whole universe. allowing ourselves to merge with Huanyan Qi, all of universe Qi. And just imagine yourself breathing with the universe, becoming coherent with the breath of the universe, effortlessly receiving, opening, effortlessly exhaling, closing. Opening and closing with the breath of the universe. And now we'll go through the aspects of our physical bodies one by one and allow them to become empty and clear, completely merged with the healing energy of Huanyan Qi and the Mingjue entirety. Bringing attention to our head, inner space. Shoo, ha ha ha. Shoo. Allowing the head, inner space to become empty and clear. Bringing attention now to the neck. Shoo, ha ha ha. Shoo. Allowing the neck, inner space to become empty and clear. Bringing attention down the shoulders, arms, and hands. Shoo, ha ha ha. Shoo. Shoulders, arms, and hands become empty and clear. Bringing our attention to our hearts, our lungs, our breasts. Shoo, ha ha ha. Shoo. Our hearts, lungs, and breasts empty and clear. Bringing attention now down the spine, upper spine, middle spine, lower spine. Shoo, ha ha ha. Shoo. Bringing this sense of harmony and cohesion throughout our central nervous systems. Now bringing our attention to the solar plexus and all of the organ systems. Shoo, ha, ha, ha. Shoo. Allowing all of our organ systems to become empty and clear. Now bringing our attention to lower dantian, the pelvic bowl, the sacral center. Shoo, ha, ha, ha. Shoo. Lower dantian becomes empty and clear. Now bringing our attention through the hips, down the legs, through the feet. Shoo, ha, ha, ha. Shoo. The hips, the legs, the feet become empty and open. Now noticing our entire physical bodies, noticing our chi bodies, and integrating it all together, becoming totally empty and clear. Shoo, ha, ha, ha. Shoo. And just allowing the free flow of energy to move through us, waking up places that may have been dormant, strengthening places that need strengthening, knowing that energy goes where energy is needed, knowing that we are merged with the intelligence of Huanyan Qi, and that healing is happening for all of us in our circle, for all of our loved ones who are joining us today in the circle, for everyone in our Mingjue community, for everyone in all of our communities, and for all life on earth. May all beings benefit from our practice. Shoo. Shoo. Trusting, trusting, trusting that the healing has already happened. Breathing in and breathing out. If you wish to linger in this healing field, I would invite you to do so. You can stay as long as you wish. If you would like to end practice now and resume the evening's activities, I'll invite you to wiggle the toes, to move the shoulders, to move the hands. And just before you open the eyes, again, I'd just like you to once again connect with that horse that's by your side. The soft face of the horse that's always with you, and that you can always conjure and lean on anytime you wish to come back to this healing field and its healing energy. And thanking our spirit horses. And when you're ready, I'll invite you to open the eyes and come back to our room here. Howla, howla.
Thank you, Megan and everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you, everyone, and all of our horses.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, all of our horses.
So we'll be back next week with more horsing around. Maybe even a few practices from this month. Who knows? Anyway, yep, that's right. So, much love to you all. I'm wishing you all beautiful evenings. And we'll see each other soon. All right. Bye for now.